Yo, what's up guys? So today we're going to be doing a survival hunter guide. So we're going to be looking at stuff like our talents, so PvP talents, hero talents. We're going to look at our opener and our general rotation, how we can CC the healer to set up kills. So we've got some add-ons and macros for you, what pet is good to use, what race is good, and our stats priority. So yeah, let's jump straight into that. Now for the survival talents, so a lot of the hunter side talents are going to be kind of similar to my BM hunter guide if you've watched that. Yeah, so this is probably what I'm going with majority of the time. Debatably, you can remove disruptive rounds and tar trap. Disruptive rounds makes your interrupt regenerate 30 focus, so I guess that's kind of useful to get some focus back, but if your kill target is like a warrior or something, you're not going to be interrupting them often. Like, you're not going to be using the interrupt on cooldown, so that's like not that great. But I think you kind of like, you get this as like pathway to tar trap, because tar trap's really good, and if you're playing into like two melees, tar trap's super good. Or you could probably swap out if you don't want either of these, because I wouldn't really take this one on its own. I'd probably go for pathfinding, and you can take something like improved snaring, which makes your concussive shot, which is your slow, have extra slow, so it's a stronger slow. Or you can, I like this Kodo tranquilizer against druid comps, like when the healer is playing resto druid, because it removes like magic effects from up to 2 nearby targets, so it kind of purges like a bunch, and tranquilizing shots only on a 10-second cooldown, so that one's quite nice. I think as like a baseline standard, this would be my set. I'll have the link in the description anyway, so you don't have to kind of pause the video. You can just copy it from there. In terms of the hero talents, I find for solo shuffle, Sentinel is a lot nicer because of the burst from this Moonlight Chakrams. So what this does is when you press your takedown, which is like one of your main burst abilities, the takedown spell gets replaced with another ability called Moonlight Chakram, and it sends out like this, it sends out a chakram, and it bounces off the enemy bunch of times, and if that target is like on their own, so if they don't have any pets or any other like teammates around them, the chakram's gonna just hit them like a bunch of times, and it does loads of damage. So this is really nice in solo shuffle, I find, because it's just so much burst in such a short window. So this is amazing. And also I really like Sentinel in general for the Sentinel's mark stuff with the shield. So one of these is this one, Don't Look Back. When you consume Sentinel's Mark, it gives you a 10% shield, so that's quite like a nice bit of sustain. So this one's pretty cool. Pack Leader I've kind of preferred for threes. I find that in solo shuffle I don't get like enough damage from Pack Leader, and in threes I don't get enough sustain from Sentinel. So that's how I kind of use Sentinel for solo shuffle and Pack Leader for threes. But you can play as you want and see which ones you prefer. What Pack Leader will do is it's a bit more of a sustain hero, what do you call them, hero talent. So what it says is, while in combat, every 30 seconds, your next kill command summons the aid of a beast. So you get a wyvern, which gives you and your pets damage, a boar, which like does like a kind of burst damage, and then a bear, which is like a pet summon for a bit, and that is quite good. This one's like quite useful. It's got like a bunch of like useful abilities. This part is quite nice defensively, this talent, the shell cover, so it makes your survival of the fittest just slightly stronger. But yeah, so this talent tree overall is good, but I wouldn't take this for solo shuffle. That's just how I felt when I've used it. In terms of the survival tree itself, so I don't deviate too much from this. It's like Beast Hunter. I've kind of found a build that works for me for PvP, and I don't really swap it out a lot. So you got the standard ones. So this one here is potentially swappable. So Flame Break or Shrapnel Bomb. So Shrapnel Bomb, or let me talk about Flame Break first because that's the one I selected. Flame Break makes all your fire damage increased by 8%. So fire damage you're going to have is mainly the wildfire bomb. I think I was going to call it blunderbuss. Yeah, this is physical, so it doesn't work on that. Takedown's obviously going to be physical, so it's mainly your wildfire bomb that you're increasing the damage of by 8%. The alternative is shrapnel bomb. This looks like they've changed it since I last used it. So what this does is it changes wildfire bombs dot from fire damage to a bleed. So this is quite useful against something like a rogue, where rogues don't have any ability to remove a bleed. So whilst they can use Cloak of Shadows to remove magic effects, which the fire damage would be, they can't remove the bleed if you use shrapnel bomb. So this is really good for something like a rogue, where the bleed is really good. Flame break will be good for something for going against something where, or sorry, if your teammate is like a demon hunter, I think, where they have they increase magic damage done to the target. I'm pretty sure it's demon hunter or it's death knight. It's like one of those. But if you got like a teammate that can boost your magic damage, this is quite good. Shrapnel bomb's good for like rogues. Then all of this is pretty standard. This one, the bloody claws or wallop, you can kind of go with whatever you prefer. So Bloody Claws makes it so that each stack of Mongoose Fury increases the damage of your strike as one by 10%. So Mongoose Fury is this thing, and what it does is when you use your Raptor Strike, it increases the damage of Raptor Strike by 10%, and it can stack. So if you use it once, you get Raptor Strike increased by 10%, use it twice by 20%, 3 times by 30%, and the applications overlap, which means that when you use it for the first time, it's 10% for 8 seconds. When you use it the next time, it's 20%, but it's like 20% for 6 seconds because those two stacks are overlapping, but it's not like refreshing the duration. So you get 20% for 6 seconds, and then after 6 seconds, it'll be like 10% for like 2 extra seconds, if that makes sense. So they overlap, it's not refreshing the duration. And what this does though, is this also increases the damage of strike as one, which is this. And what this does is when you consume Tip of the Spear, which is when you use your kill command, it gives you a buff called Tip of the Spear, and it makes your next damaging ability cause your pet to do like an extra attack. And so this is just like increasing the damage of that as well. So this is quite like a reliable source of damage increase. Wallop makes it so that gaining a stack of Mongoose Fury has a 20% chance to increase the damage of your next Raptor Strike by 50%. So this is every 1 in 5 Raptor Strikes, you get a 50% damage increase on your Raptor Strike, or on average every 1 in 5. So this is a bit more RNG based, this is a bit more consistent, so you can kind of choose which you prefer. Then this one, Raptor Strike and Boomstick deal 20% increased crit damage, or yeah, so for this one, this is Raptor Strike and Boomstick deal more damage on crits, or Wildfire Bomb and Flame Fang, fucking tongue twister, Flame Fang Pitch deal 20% increased critical strike damage. So basically, which one's going to do more crit damage? We don't take Flame Fang Pitch. Oh, that's fucking tricky to say. We don't take Flame Fang Pitch, so you're basically just buffing Wildfire Bomb rather than buffing 2 things. So this seems like just the better option. And then, so we grab all of these bits. So to explain some of this stuff, so this is take down your big like damaging ability. It does like a little leap with you and your pet, increases your and your pet's damage and attack speed. It generates focus, it generates 50 focus, and it also generates 3 stacks of Tip of the Spear if you take this Twin Fangs. So by default it doesn't, if you don't want to take that for whatever reason, because some people take this Explosive Expert, put a point here, which gives you more like damage on your other abilities. I take this one because I prefer it. And yeah, so all of these are just buffing your takedown. And then we also take these ones over here. So this side of the tree is buffing your pet damage, and then this one is buffing your kill command, which you use like it's your main ability for generating focus, so you're always using that. So increasing its damage by a bit is good. And then it also reduces the cooldown of Wildfire Bomb by a second when you use kill command, so that's really nice because Wildfire Bomb's like your main damage. Then this one is when Wildfire Bomb like hits, so when you use Wildfire Bomb, for each enemy that it hits, you reduce the cooldown of Boomstick by 2 seconds. So if you are playing against a class that has pets, you're probably going to hit a bunch of them and get a really big cooldown on Boomstick, and Boomstick is another big CD, so this is quite nice. If you're not playing against pets, it's not going to do as much, but I find that it's still useful to get Boomstick out more often. And then Kill Command grants an additional stack of Tip of the Spear, which is great because it means you can use 1 Kill Command, then 2 abilities, which are both buffed by the Tip of the Spear, and then use another Kill Command. So you don't have to weave in Kill Commands every time. Like, if you don't have this, you have to do Kill Command, ability, Kill Command, ability, Kill Command, ability. This means you can weave it in every 2. So this is really good. Then in terms of PvP talents, so we take Survival Tactics like 100% of the time. I take Chimeral Sting like 100% of the time as well, and Sticky Tar Bomb like 90% of the time. If you're playing against a comp that's like all casters, then obviously Sticky Tar Bomb is not going to do as much. So you can swap this out based on what you're playing. I've never found like something that I'm 100% happy with against a full caster comp. So something like Hunting Pack is probably what I'd take the most against full comp of casters, because it gives you reduced cooldown on aspect of the cheater, and it gives that a bit effect to your allies. And what that means is you can kind of catch up to the casters better. So mainly if it's like a mage or something like that, it's obviously more is quite useful to be able to catch up to them, and also to give your allies the ability to catch up to them, or it also helps your allies kite away if they need to do that. So that's quite useful in that sense. Mending Bandages is good against Asa Rogue because it removes bleeds and poison. So if they do their Death Mark and Kingsbane, it removes all of that. So this is insane against Asa Rogues. If they go you, or even if they don't go you can use this on your ally. So this is nuts against Asa Rogues. Tracker's Net, I've not found it too great. Diamond Ice is kind of good because you can use it against, if you use it against like one of the DPS, it can't be dispelled, and you can use it against Prez Evokers because they can use Emerald Communion, but this will like stop them being able to do that. So that's nice as well. Wild Kingdom, I've used it before, but it's never felt good to use. So in general, I'd use Survival Tactics, Sticky Tar Bomb, and Chimeral Sting, and Hunting Pack if it's all casters, as the last one. So for my opener, what I'd do is I'd go into stealth. I'd select my target, and I'd pop Hunter's Mark for the 3% damage increase. And so then after I've done that, I'd set my focus. This kind of stuff is explained in my Beastmaster guide, but obviously if you're just interested in Survival Hunter, then you might not have watched that. So I'm just gonna explain that whole thing again. So I'll set my focus, get my target ready. I will start with intimidation on the focus target, which is the healer. So do that into a freezing trap. Then I'll kill command into a wildfire bomb. So for your big burst, we'll go in with a takedown. This is like your main damage, like your main big burst rotation. So you go takedown, which will give you 3 stacks of Tip of the Spear. We're going to use the Moonlight Chakrams that comes out to do a big initial burst, and then we're going to do a Boomstick and a Wildfire Bomb. Right, so we do takedown, Moonlight Chakrams, Boomstick, and then we'll do another one, a kill command into Wildfire Bomb, and then we get that. So that's such a big amount of damage. Yeah, don't know. I have no idea what is clearing my one of my 3 stacks when I do takedown, because I'm not pressing anything else. So if you know in the comments, please let me know, because I'm interested to find out what that is. It's not Savage Rend because I just checked it and it didn't do it. Okay, anyway, that's your big burst rotation. And then for your standard like damage rotation when your other stuff is on cooldown, what you're going to want to do is you want to always make sure when you're using your abilities, you have a stack of tip of the spear. So to generate that, you press kill command. So I kill command, I get 2 stacks, and then I'm going to use a wildfire bomb as priority, and then I'm going to use raptor strike. So that gets both. Now I want to use tip of the spear again. I've got wildfire bomb, so I can do that. Then sorry, raptor strike and then swipe, whatever. But basically you want to prio your wildfire bombs and then you use raptor strike afterwards. But you always want to use either of those only when you have tip of the spear, because it gives you a much bigger hit on your damage. So you want to do tip of the spear, kill command, wildfire bomb, swipe, tip of the spear, wildfire bomb. You've got boomstick, use boomstick. Tip of the spear, it's called kill command, but whatever. I have nothing else yet, so I'm going to use 2 raptors, and then I got boomstick now with thing. So I'm going to use my combo. So I do big chakrams, boomstick. Right, so that's generally how it'll play out for your general rotation, and obviously your big cooldowns coming back off cooldown. So yeah, you can kind of use boomstick like as it comes off cooldown, because this is going to be, they're not going to come off cooldown together a lot of the time. If you feel like you need the big burst moments, then wait for takedown before you go to use this. I tend to use boomstick as more of a on cooldown type of thing, because I feel like creating that sustained pressure is quite nice, and the chakrams kind of gives me that burst anyway. But yeah, it's up to you how you want to try it. That's just what I do, and that's worked for me. Right, so now for CC setting up your kills. So what you want to do, I do it via focus macros. So I'm going to start off with an intimidate on the focus target, which is that guy over there, into freezing trap. So that's one quick way, and then you can do like a chimeral sting as a follow-up CC. The other way you can do that setup is with a chimeral sting into a stun into a frost trap, or chimeral sting into a frost trap into a stun. Kind of whatever combo works best for you in the moment is good. And what I like to do would be chimeral sting into intimidation, like just after the spider venom's about to finish, and then into freezing trap, because that's essentially of hard CC where the healer can't cast is 3 seconds into it says 5 seconds here, but I think it's a bit lower. 3 seconds into about 3 seconds in PvP, and then this is 6 seconds. So that's 3, 3, 6. So that's about 12 seconds of CC. So if we do this, we go chimeral sting. This is the slow. We wait for the silence. Okay, silence. 3, 2, 1, stun. 3, 2, 1, freezing trap. But you can also set up your freezing traps in different ways, because this is now on a 20-second cooldown, where this is I've got 5 seconds left. If I'm playing on top of the healer, I can slow him with that, or harpoon him into freezing trap. Survival Hunter's got so much ability to set up your traps, because you've got harpoon into trap, and harpoon roots them, so it's they can't do anything. If you don't have harpoon for whatever reason, you can disengage onto them with a slow into freezing trap. You've got binding shot into freezing trap. You have so many ways that you can use creatively to CC the healer. So use whatever you feel is best. If you're playing against a mage, you might want to use harpoon to get to the mage, so you might want to use disengage to get to the healer. So there's that. Or the mage might root you, and you want to use disengage to get out of the root, and then you want to use harpoon onto the healer to root them and then trap them. So play try this stuff in your solo shuffle games, see what works for you, because it's hard for me to just tell you what is best. You might prefer it one way that I don't like as much, and I might prefer it one way that you might not like as much. So just try out all these different combinations, see what you like the best. But you've got bunch of abilities to play with to be able to set up your CC with Hunter. So for my add-ons and macros, I actually have all of this in my Beastmaster video, so I'll link that and you can check out all the add-ons there. So the ones I'm using on this guy are attack macro, so when I cast kill command, I'm also telling my pet to start attacking. Binding shot on a cursor, so binding shot just being casted at a cursor, so it means I don't have to click the keybind and then click in the world where I want it. I just aim my cursor and press the button. So there are a lot of cast on cursor macros like that. Then I've got my FARP, which is casting harpoon at my focus target. So this guy's my focus at the minute. So then if I press my macro, which is this, then you can see I jump to him and then I can... Okay, now I thought I almost missed that. What a guide where you miss it. Freezing trap on a target dummy. Yeah, so cast my harpoon at my focus target. So it's just quite nice if I'm like targeting this guy. I just want to differentiate between if I want to harpoon my target or harpoon my focus. Then I've got target focus for muzzle. So that's good. Just means I don't have to swap targets because I find that annoying. Then I've got my flare at cursor. I've got my friend free. This is casting freedom, so because of my cunning pet, this is master school, which is like a paladin's freedom, and it's casting it at an ally. Reason you want to do this is if you want to remove the roots or snares from an ally. If your healer gets root beams or break that breaks a whole go on you. So this is quite nice, and it's just on mouse over, so when I've got my party frames here I can quickly do that. Frost trap on cursor, so I showed that a bunch of times. Focus slow, so this is concussive shot on my focus target, so this is makes it easy for me to set up CC like that, and then I could run over and like, you know, smack him or do whatever. Target focus chimeral, focus intim, player freedom, so this is just casting the freedom on me. Takedown, I've got this macroed with blood fury, so when I use it, because this is on a minute cooldown, blood fury is 2, so basically every 2 times I use this, I'm gonna be able to use them together. So it just gives me more damage on my takedown, which is my main damage. Tar trap I've got on cursor as well. So yeah, those are my macros. I'll have a link in the description or in the comments or something, so you can just copy those. Right, now for your pets, main thing you want is a pet with the cunning specialization in general, and a pet with mortal wounds, and you always want mortal wounds. Cunning, I think, like I've watched other people's guides, and some people like it's the tenacity spec you can go sometimes. I never go tenacity, but I'm also not a rank 1 player, so you know, you can go tenacity sometimes. Mainly cunning spec, always mortal wounds. And I've got a video on how to use Patopia, which is a tool to find pets with those with the mortal wounds, because the specializations cunning versus tenacity and ferocity can be applied to any pet. But I've got a guide, so I'll link the video so you can watch where to find like cool looking pet with the mortal wounds. So for races, really you can probably go like whatever you prefer. Like picking one race over picking another isn't going to be a massive advantage to you. This might be slightly different for a rogue or feral druid, where like night elf is insane. Night elf is insane in general because of the shadow mount, but generally you can probably pick whatever you prefer. So I'm playing with orc. Orc has like a couple good like bonuses for survival hunter. So orc gets command, which you get a damage increase to your pets 1%. Like this, it just goes to show this stuff is like pretty minuscule. Then you get hardiness, which is reducing stun effects on you by an additional 20%. This is really good for if you're the kill target, which hunters tend to be. So additional 20% stun reduction is really, really good. Blood Fury gives you a burst cooldown on a 2 minutes. Blood Fury gives you on a 2-minute cooldown extra burst damage, so this is really nice. And I think that might be it. So overall, orcs like good. You get damage increase to your pet. Your pet's obviously dealing some damage. You get stun reduction, and you get a burst cooldown. Night elf is another good one in general. So night elves will have shadow meld. And what it does is when they use it, it drops combat and it will allow them to essentially re-stealth with camouflage, I'm pretty sure. So that's quite strong. Shadow Meld also like dodges like spell. So if you got a Chaos Bolt coming at you and you Shadow Meld, you can kind of like whiff enemy abilities, which is like nuts. Other stuff you could play is like High Mountain Torrent for Horde. So that gives you like a charge ability. So that's good mobility for getting away from the enemy if they're like chasing you. So it's like having another disengage with a stun essentially. Or if you need to chase an enemy or just like, you know, use it for the stun, you know, you can do. So that's quite strong. On Murloc, some people are playing Pandaren. I guess that's for like the their active ability is, I don't know what it's called, but it's like the monk's in cap. So it's like I think it's like a 3-second in cap. You know, so you can, you know, people are playing that, but I think just play what you like. It's not going to be a massive advantage whatever you go with. So I think just play what you prefer. If you're a min-maxer, check Murloc.io and go from there. I'm having a look at it right now. Pandaren's top, Night Elf's next, and then it's Orc. So yeah, cool. So for your stat prio, what I've got, this is kind of like just because of my BM Hunter, I've got prioritizing mastery and like a bit of haste just to make the gameplay feel like smoother. So I'm mainly taking mastery on my stuff. Like the haste is coming from like tier sets and things like that. And this is some of the, like some of my gems are like left over that I've never like cleaned up. You want to go mastery, haste as your priority. Mastery is going to give you increased damage for both you and your pet, and when you're within 25 yards of each other, that bonus is increased so by 100%. So with my setup, I have 20% normally, and when I'm close to my pet, it's increased to 40%. And then you also take 3% reduced damage, which would go to 6% if they're nearby, but that doesn't get affected by your mastery. I think that's always. Haste is at 10%, so this is just like enough to where it doesn't feel like clunky to play. You can play around with your stats and see like what works for you. I find like with like a 6, because you can go lower haste, but I find it just feels like it feels arse to play, and I'm, you know, I like to kind of be quick, have my global cooldown like reduced so I can like set up my stuff easier. So yeah, this is what works for me. Right, so I appreciate everyone who's stuck around to watch the video. If you've enjoyed it, drop a like, and I'd appreciate if you could subscribe if you're enjoying any of the content. Obviously, if you didn't enjoy it or you disagreed with anything, feel free to dislike, drop any comments in the comments. But yeah, I'd like to hear your feedback on what you liked, what you didn't like, because it will help me be able to make like better content for you guys. So yeah, appreciate everyone, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.